Good morning, everyone. I'm Bill Brenner, Head of Content at Cyber Risk Alliance, SC Media, Security Weekly. And here we are. This is day
Three.
two,
Three?
three. They all blend together
It's
after a
three.
while.
It is three. Yes, it's three.
But we are here live at the Aria Resort in Las Vegas for day 3 of Identiverse. And thanks for joining us this morning. Very busy event. I don't have the specific attendance numbers, and pardon the frog in my throat, but it's definitely much busier this year. And I say that last year felt pretty busy, so this is just a lot of great content this week. And as I look ahead, Paul, I see. Matt Caulfield from Cisco, he's going to be giving a keynote. Actually, he would be giving it right as we speak, upstairs on the identity access management evolution. And he actually recently, Matt wrote a perspectives piece that is on SC Media that's well worth checking out, that covers a lot of the themes that he's making. And he was also part of, we spoke about this yesterday, the identity being the new Trojan horse. And so he's been doing a lot of work there. But I know, Paul, there's a panel that you are eager to catch this morning. Tell us about it.
Well, it's got the catchy title of Zero Identity in a Zero Trust World, and I'm curious to see what that is all about. Zero Trust, I understand. Zero Identity, I want to hear more about. It sounds kind of negatory, dissolution of self. That sounds kind of interesting, but I have a feeling it won't be that philosophical.
Yeah, I doubt it very much.
But I like the idea. I like the
But
name.
looking at who's on the panel, just some super smart
big names.
Folks. We have Ashish from Arcos Labs. We have somebody from Yahoo, somebody from Amazon. So I think there'll be a lot of useful takeaways from that one. And we will be covering that and writing about what they are. So, what else is intriguing to you as we look at the day ahead?
On my agenda in the afternoon, there's a session about zero standing privilege, which is a concept many of us may be familiar with, but maybe some of us won't be, which is basically having no standing privileges at all, ever, and everything kind of comes just in time. It's an interesting concept. I have some, there may be some implementation issues, but I think philosophically it's something to go for, and I want to hear more about their implementation of it. Microsoft is going to do a talk about a deep dive into IAM powered by Microsoft Copilot. Their AI, so that sounds interesting. I'm into passkeys, and I think passkeys are really interesting. I've considered them, and they've been presented as more of a consumer product than an enterprise product. However, Netflix is going to talk about how they deployed passkeys, or at least tried to, in their enterprise, and I want to see how that went, because I'm really curious about how well they can be adapted to an enterprise environment. And there's a guy talking about multilateral federation and digital wallets. That would be, I believe, David Bradley is his name, and John Bradley, who was a big name in identity. And let's see what else. McDonald's is going to talk about them implementing a global, company-wide, worldwide IAM solution, which sounds really interesting. And then coming back to passkeys again, there's a guy from Amazon Web Services talking about passkeys as a threat, as a Trojan horse, which is a concept I haven't heard before, and I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, and it is, as I mentioned yesterday, we are hearing a lot more in recent months about concerns around taking identity and weaponizing it.
Yeah.
And AI comes into play there. We've had a lot of content on Security Weekly, on SC Magazine, really digging into that. And I think, it's what's going to be important today as we go through these talks is the guidance.
Yeah.
What to do about this, how not to let the identities that you're responsible for be weaponized. So, looking forward to a lot of good stuff there. What else do you have on tap?
Well, there's some more stuff tomorrow. I don't know if that really counts for this session, but it's
It does.
This session, this Identiverse goes until noon tomorrow, and there are some interesting things coming up. There's a talk about how Generation Alpha, which I guess is a generation after Generation Z, will redefine identity and authentication. That sounds kind of optimistic. I'm curious about that. More about passkeys, from Dashlane, about early adopter insights from Dashlane about passkeys. A comparative analysis of authenticators, which is another interesting talk. And one that's kind of interesting to me is there's going to be a guy from, I think he's the U.S. government. Yeah, Department of Homeland Security, talking about the sort of long-standing problem of public-facing U.S. identity flows. This is really interesting because the things we take as forms of identity, driver's licenses and social security numbers, they weren't really meant to be forms of identity. They've been repurposed as identity, but we have a national aversion to any kind of national identity card. So by default, we use these other things that were meant for other purposes.
Right.
I remember reading that until about 20 years ago, if you were in a military hospital, your social security number was posted at the foot of your bed. That is terrible operational security. But it just shows to show you that social security numbers were not meant to be identity. Driver's licenses were sort of just meant to show that you could drive. And this guy is going to talk about try to solve that problem in American society, which kind of fascinates me. And I think, let's see what else we got. Sorry, that's not working. Okay. And again, passport chips. And finally, passkey authentication for IBM employees, another implementation of passkeys, which again is kind of my thing. And finally, the final keynote is called The Future of Authorization. They've not filled in the blanks, the details for that yet, so I'm going to go and check it out.
Excellent. And just for our audience, we will be bringing all of that to you in the form of articles and video, and so look for that as you visit our sites, Security Weekly and SC Media, over the next week. We'll be bringing that all to you. So we will be back after a couple of other interviews and other activities, but stay tuned. And in the meantime, to keep up with all of our coverage so far, please visit securityweekly.com/IDV. Thank you, and we'll be back.